Hello everybody, and it's really good to be back. I was pretty crook with food poisoning, so everyone watch what you eat. If it tastes funny, strange, unusual, maybe give it a miss. So what I am going to do today is just combine a whole bunch of the commands that I've used, and also use a program called imagemagick. So we're going to be using ffmpeg and imagemagick to make a, well, kind of a fake radar for a prop or background of your video, something like that. So, or whatever you want to use it for. And feel free to use it. Yeah, definitely. So what I did was I saw a sort of a fake radar sort of background on something, and I thought, oh, how would you do that? So I got like in imagemagick you can make a radial gradient sort of image, and then I just cut the top quarter out of it, and then just padded the rest so that it was all black except for 1/4, and then just got that to rotate. And I looked up a whole bunch of things online how to do that, and yeah, some of the commands I can't find where I put them. If I do find where I got them from, I will put a link to the command in the description. But yeah, I was playing around and then I lost where I got it from. So okay, so what we're going to do first is the first step was to make the radial gradient image. And when I did that, I at first I wanted to just make it all 1920 by 1080, nice and easy. And the problem I had is that I have an old computer and it kept crashing. So I was like, well, do I really need to start it off that big? No, I don't. So I'll just make a small 480 by 270 radial gradient, and then I can just scale it up later on. So 480 by 270 is 1/4 of 1920 by 1080. And so, yep, the first step was going to imagemagick and the documentation, and they said how to make a radial gradient, and the command is magick and then dash size 480 by 270 radial dash gradient green to black, and then the output is radial-gradient.png. So now I have my radial gradient, and I want to cut the top left-hand corner out, 1/4 of it. So I use ffmpeg crop command. ffmpeg works for videos and images, so you can use it for images. So ffmpeg, the input is radial-gradient.png, because that's what I named my image. And then crop 240/135, which is a 1/4 size, 240 pixels by 135 of the 480 by 270 image that I had, and then starting at the top corner, so it's 0, starting at 0 along the x-axis and 0 along the y-axis. And I have the output is qtr radial-gradient.png. So now that I have my 1/4, I wanted to put some black padding. Now, this is probably a long way of doing this. I don't know, there might be a lot faster way of doing all this, but this is the way I did it. This is the way my mind works. So, yeah, I can't really, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. So, yeah. this is the way I did it. So ffmpeg, and I got the input of the image that I've just made. I used the pad command, and the default color is black, so I didn't need to specify the color. And I just put the padding, which is going to be 2 times the initial video's width and 2 times the initial video image's height. Sorry, not video image. The initial image's width and the initial image's height, and then just starting at x equals 0, y equals 0, so the top corner. And that gives you the quarter of the radial gradient in the top left hand quarter, and the rest of the image is black. And then I wanted to rotate it, and I found this command from imagemagick. Now imagemagick, this command starts with convert, the other command started with magick. I don't know, not too sure. I don't understand much about imagemagick, but this command worked, and that was great. So I just put my padded gradient image, duplicate 360, because I wanted it to go full 360. And so when it's got this, I don't know what this all distort stuff does, but T times 5 seemed to rotate it every 5 seconds, and that's what I wanted to do, so that worked. And then the output was a GIF, because imagemagick works with images and GIFs, and even though I wanted a video, not a GIF, I can change that on ffmpeg. So the next step, step 5, was to do the ffmpeg command and just change the GIF to an MP4. And then once I did that, I wanted to scale it up. So I used another ffmpeg command there and scaled it 4 times the width and 4 times the height. You could have also put scale equals 1920, what's that, dot, what's that, is it colon? 1080, so you could have gone scale equals 1920 colon 1080, but I just used 4 times the width and 4 times the height. And then what did I do next? Okay, so now I want to make my drawgrid. So I did it in 2 steps. You could probably do it in 1, but I'm not sure. So I made a blank background, which was the same duration. 36 seconds is what my GIF. Well, the 1920 by 1080 rotating light is 36 seconds, so I just made my blank 136 seconds, and the color is black, duration 36, size 1920 by 1080. So, and then I want to do a green grid on it, and then, so I had another ffmpeg command. I got the blank video as my input, and then I used drawgrid. The width 160, height 160, color is green, thickness is 4 pixels, and I've got this y equals 60, and that's because I wanted the grid to start 60 pixels down, because then we've got a grid in line with the rotating light, all centered. So when you look at the image, the rotating light, the center point is at the same point as the grid. So that took that took me a little while, because I did the math wrong, and yeah, I had to keep playing around with it to get it centered, and it was, so I'm happy now. And then what the next thing was to overlay the two. So I found this command and it worked, so that's great. So I got the rotating light and the green grid, and overlaid the green grid over the rotating light, and got my radar image. So you can stop there if you want. You've got a radar image, but you could also put something in the background. And I thought, oh, we've got that. I did a video on the GEQ command for ffmpeg, and they have that like enigmatic light which like floats all around. And I thought, oh, that would look like there's a UFO floating around, and the radar is picking it up. So I made I copied the command pretty much exactly the same as is in the documentation, but and I just use, it doesn't really matter what image you use for the input, because it just changes it to sort of that well, normally it's like a black and white with grey enigmatic light, but I wanted to have sort of a green tinge to it. So you've got GEQ equals and a whole bunch of stuff, and then a colon 128 colon 63. Well, I put 63 in here because I looked at, so this whole like random blah 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 to the first colon, that's R, you know, for RGB, the colors. So that first one is the command for what they want the R to be, and then it's 128, and in the documentation it's 128 colon 128. I used a color picker and just tried to find like a greenish color, so and it was around 63, so I put 63 there, and when I did the output it looked green, so it worked. So I was like, yay. And then I just wanted to blend those two together, so the enigmatic light and the radar image. But there was a problem, and the problem is that the radar image that video that I made, well, that had different frames per second, different spec from the enigmatic light that I did. So what I needed to do was change the specs. So I've used this command. I had a video on this timescale error that I was getting, and I read up, someone suggested, well, just make the two videos the same. So just specify what you want it to do. And they gave this command. I think the R is for frames per second, and I just make it both the same, and then they blend. It worked for me, so hopefully it'll work for you. And so I got the enigmatic light and added all the same things as they had, except I put the rate at 24, and then the ffmpeg command for the input radar, just all the same stuff. Then I went down to the next step and blended it. This was a command that Astroni gave me, which worked better than just doing blend. I mean, you can do blend, just the blend command without all this, but it gives you weird effects. So you'll see I did a video on blend, and then I did a new video on blend with the command that Astroni gave me, because it just worked a lot better. So, so I just did that, and then I got my final radar, which had a UFO floating around. Well, that's what it looks like to me. It's not probably completely realistic. If someone's gonna look at it and go, oh, that's not what they really look like. But I mean, it was close enough for me. Like if you wanted to put it in a prop in a background. And the other thing you can do is just put different videos in the background, and you'll just have to change the go back to step 11 and put your video, whatever video you want to put as the input, and just copy paste the rest of the command there so that you've got the same specs for your video as for your radar, and then just blend it. You can just try different blends. I tried negation, I tried dodge worked nicely, and some of them worked well, some of them didn't, so just play around with the different blend commands. And then in the end I thought, I kind of want it to look blurry so that it's not so sharp, the lines in that, so I used this blur effect, boxblur. So that's in the documentation as well, and you can just go through. The -an here, just some of my videos had lots of noise, so that makes them silent, gets rid of any sound. And yeah, so I hope that's been helpful, and you get to see how you can combine all the different commands and play around with things. And I hope you're all doing well, hope you're all feeling well, and have a lovely day, and thank you for watching my video. See you later, bye.